but I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man.
Good morning and welcome to the 56th Breakfast Ball. I'm your host, Bob Cardia, and to my left, to your right, back together again, kind of like Simon and Garfunkel in Central Park, which is way before his time, but that's okay, is the dashing Richie Stoltz, the bundled up Richie Stoltz. The studio today is not exactly balmy. It's not too bad, though. Although your host did leave the microphones in his car, and what was it, like 20-something degrees last night?
Yeah, it was freezing.
So yeah, like if you wanted to keep a drink cold, just put it on top of this microphone because it's freezing. Anyway, so welcome back.
I'm back.
He's back and better than ever. Yes, he's been behind the camera the past couple of weeks. While we're doing a couple different guests. Last week with having Billy McGinnis was great. I loved when he went into I forget exactly what he said, but he knew he was going to hit one ball in the water, one ball out of bounds, and three putt at least once. And once he got that over with, he knew it was going to be a good round. Yeah. And you're talking about a guy that's won like a ton of golf tournaments. I mean, at least one of the, if not the highest ranked amateur player over the past 20 years around in this area. Anyway. So anyway, Billy, thanks for coming on. Loved having you. And I think I mentioned to him we may have him on again more toward the majors just to talk about thinking. Yeah. We're wearing matching hats today, by the way.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I need a haircut. I don't usually wear a hat, but like I combed my hair back today and I look like either a mushroom or a Manchi. So I just said screw it. We're going hat today. Anyway, so today's topic is do not time travel. Okay. Although time traveling sometimes may be good if you
That'd
could.
be pretty cool.
Yeah, think Back to the Future if you could change some things, but I without being able.
I saw something on time travel last night. I'll tell you in the meeting.
Please. Yeah.
No, I'll tell you in the meeting. It's confusing, long, but it was interesting. It was interesting.
And I am easily confused.
I'd do with the Bible.
Oh, good. Well, we'll talk about that at the meeting then.
It was just interesting.
Yeah,
it was cool.
I love thinkers. As you know, I love people that think. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, time travel in this sense means don't think about the past and don't focus on or obsess about the future. Stay in the present moment, and that helps. There's a ton of stuff about that in life. But in golf, for sure. And as Billy and I talked about last week, golf and life are a terrific metaphor for each other. So, did I mention Gary Player yet? I don't know if I did just now. No. Yeah. So, I'm reading Eckhart Tolle's book right now, The Power of Now. I'm about a little less than halfway through it. And some great stuff in there. It's about your mind. Like, the thinking mind versus the whole self. And you don't really think of it this way, but like think of yourself, let's just say you're at a fishbowl. Okay, you're a fish. And let's say you're obsessing on, I don't know, whatever is, going on around you, right? And then you're the person standing outside the bowl watching the fish. It's a completely different perspective. Yeah. Like when we as people get stuck in our daily, like I know, I think about a lot of past things, and then I try to think a lot of future things, and the dichotomy of it kills me sometimes because I'm scattered all over the place. If you could just think about that moment, actually quiet your mind from thinking, right, and just enjoy and embrace the moment, it makes things a whole lot different. But I don't know if you ever thought of things that way.
I've thought of what it would be like to be a fish in a bowl before. Because imagine all the stuff that you see around you. You'd be like, wow, what is going on out there?
Just watch out for the cat.
Watch out for the cat.
Yeah, no doubt. It is
imagine that. Like the little fish in the when you walk into like a Chinese restaurant or something like that, and they got little fish. Like they see people walk in and out every single day. What is that? What are these things doing? What is going on? What's that good smell?
I wonder if they have that capacity. If they do, okay.
I don't know.
Just I
Only a
guess
fish would
if I was a
know.
fish at a sushi place, I'd be just not. I'd be fearing for my life. Anyway, Gary Player, who I quote a lot. Gary Player had this thing about saying he never hit a golf shot until he heard the birds chirping around him. And I thought about that. I'm like, holy smokes, man, that's pretty deep for one, but two, yeah, it gets back to what Rotella talks about. Just staying in the moment, not thinking about a future outcome or past. Just staying in the moment, embracing is what's around you. And Toll talks about if you're looking to get to the next level of I guess consciousness, is take some time to walk, walk in the woods, listen to the trees, listen to the birds, because that's what animals do. Animals, what makes people unique is we have a conception of time, like what happened before and what might happen there. When you're an animal, you just live in the present.
Yeah.
And I think that can really help you keep a more even keel. If you say, hey, look, I can't change anything that happened. I can learn from it. And I can't let what happened in the past jade the future. Or heaven forbid, worry about what might happen. I need to live in the present. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So golf and life. Agreed?
Agreed.
So I put together different clips from different things internet, reading, experience, Rotella, any of them, so I wrote down 7, and I'm going to give you a chance to comment at the end because I'm sure you have ways you work on this too. But these are ways to stay in the present. Okay, number 1 we kind of discussed already. Accept where you are. That doesn't mean give up. Crap. I'm just accepting the fact that I'm not where I want to be and da. No, that's not what I'm saying. Accept where you are means just okay. Take. This is where I am now. Okay. I'm not going to dwell on the fact I'm not where I want to be. I'm not going to dwell on the fact that I have these lofty expectations. I am going to say this is where I am now, and I am now going to work in the present to start moving forward, right? I'm just going to start working on being a better version of myself and thinking, this is where I am and not worry about time travel. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 2, be grateful, okay? The old analogy, someone always has it worse than you. It's true though, right?
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah.
It is true.
There's things, I mean, like I'm watching the past couple of days on TV about the hostages and I don't wonder why the light does that.
I don't know.
Yeah, the light changes. The second I mentioned hostages, the light dimmed. So we're not hostages, okay? Yeah, as bad as you and I have it right now, it's way better than they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we don't have it that bad.
No.
That's what
No.
There's a lot of great things to be grateful for. So be grateful. 3, work on your breathing. Remember we had Spencer Broad back here way back in the day. Are you working on your meditation at all still or no?
Yeah, I'm still doing the breathing stuff.
Good.
Yeah, especially on the golf. I'm not really playing golf right now, but once I get back on the golf course, then yes.
If you're watching this anywhere else other than New Jersey, it's cold and snowy right now. Yes.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No. Forgive past hurts, but don't focus on future expectations. Again, guilty of it. I know I do. Is whether it be a missed putt, whether it be something misspoken, thinking about the past and letting it affect the future. I know in the other book that we talked about a lot, Lair, he said, focus on past greatness. I guess, that's good for building confidence, but, staying in the present, clearly, yeah. Way to go, yep. I like 5 because Billy and I talked about it last week. Smile. There, see, Richard just smiled. Yes. And I actually, while I was doing this last night, while I was writing this, I wrote smile. And just because I thought of the Billy conversation and whatnot. And then I just smiled on purpose. And holy shnikes, man, I'm like, you know what? that felt pretty good. Yeah. So, smile. This one I like, and this is something that you talked about last week. You can dream big, but work hard in the present. Now, so you talked about short-term goals, right? Yeah. So that works for you, yes?
Yeah, always setting short term instead of just all long term, really hard goals. I like to set smaller goals that lead me, almost like pave a path for me to that long term goal.
Yeah. Well, now, refresh our memory. This is a couple weeks back. You had a couple short-term things that you were going to do for 2025. What were they?
Make my bed, clean my car.
And how's that going so
My
far?
bed's made, my car's clean.
Let's go.
I bought 2 organizers for my car and a car trash can, I guess you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a storage unit, so I'm one of those people. I cannot. I was talking to my mom about this. I cannot wrap my head around not having everything I could possibly need for that day on me.
Okay.
Like I need to have everything on me.
Okay.
You know, almost honestly, almost in like a hoarder type of set, like how hoarders
I've
don't
been in
want to
your
get
car
rid
before.
of stuff. Yeah, we haven't been in it recently.
Yes.
It's much better.
Good.
But I always need to have everything on me. If I don't, I'm like, what if I need this? What if I need this? What if I need this?
Right.
And so
So
that was one of the
there's a
things.
zombie outbreak or
I
something.
couldn't wrap my head around getting stuff out of my car, so I organized the way it's in my car, and it looks a lot better.
Yes.
So.
I know. I get it, man. I do. I'm you know what I'm kind of guilty of that a little bit too. You know, although being tired sometimes factors into what I do. Like I know I had a bunch of stuff in the back of my truck the past couple days, and like if it's cold and snowing out, like I could make 2 or 3 trips. I'm like, you know what? I'll just take one thing out at a time as I go, and thus the freezing microphones today. It's yeah. I should have focused a little bit more on the short-term goal of getting everything in the house, but yeah, it's okay. The last one, I forget which I saw. Was it on a website in a book? I can't remember which one it was, but remove past possessions. Interesting. I could think of a couple things. My father died May 9th, 1998. And I had bought him a birthday gift because his birthday was about a month later. And my expectation was to use it as a source of inspiration. And back then, what was it? The Titleist HVC maybe was the new golf ball that just came out. I can't exactly remember what ball it was. But I bought him a dozen of them because we played golf together. And I saved them for the longest time. And I know one of the first times I went to qualify for a PAT, I put a red dot on the ball because red was his favorite color. And I decided to use those balls as a form of inspiration. And I think I still have a sleeve of them somewhere. But like, I don't... my dad was a great man. For people who still mention him, like Billy did last week, I'm not so sure that was the right way to go with that because it brought in certain feelings, and I know like in you know past things I've done before, like I know if there was a scenario where I bought a gift for somebody and then you know basically we had a falling out, and I still had that gift, and I'm like, you know, it's probably better to start getting rid of that stuff, you know, because do you have anything you've ever looked at and it reminds you of something, and like, you know, look, it's time to go, man. It's time to focus on being in the here and now and moving forward. Have you ever had something like that?
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure I have.
Yeah, I have the privilege of when I write these to sit for hours to write them and to think about how stuff affects me. But yeah, so I think for a lot of people, getting rid of past possessions, you know, that might trigger or elicit a response that is not helpful to staying in the now or the now going forward, is probably a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so question to the dashing Richie Stoltz. If you had to pick one thing, or I don't care, two, that helps you stay in the present on the golf course or in life, what would you say those things are?
I think the one that everyone would think is the most underrated, but I think is the most important, is smile.
Yeah.
Because you even said it. You wrote down smile, then you smiled, then you felt better.
Right.
And I think what a lot of people do, they call it RBS. Do you know what that stands for?
RBS, ribs.
Resting, not so good face.
Oh yes, the resting bitch face. Yes,
So,
yes.
so
I know a couple people that have that. Yes.
where they just walk around and they're never smiling.
Yeah.
They never look happy, and quite
Yeah.
frankly, sometimes they never act happy.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes they make jokes about it and this and that, but they're always, from what I've seen, they're always in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And you look at someone else who's constantly smiling, I don't think their life's any better than the other person, most likely.
Right.
They're just.
But it helps.
They're
Unless you're in the
choosing-
movie Smile, then it's not.
I think smiling is actually more so an action than it is a feeling.
Well, it gets back to something you and I talked about, like maybe 50 episodes ago. Is the superhero pose,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Or fake it till you make it. If you sit up straight, right, or if you smile, right, you actually change the chemistry in your head.
Yeah.
Like it actually elicits more positive feelings. So if you're constantly like slouched over and angry, like or look angry, it affects the way you are. Yeah. No, I love that. I do.
Yeah.
I do. So yeah, and Scott Verplank and like Billy said, these things, work a lot in the short term. It's like I think medication in a certain way. Like you might get used to it, and it might not be as effective down the road. But regardless, it's effective. Like implementing strong posture, smiling, and then the dream big thing, because that's we talk about. We always have our staff meetings after this podcast. And we talk about all kinds of lofty goals and expectations. But the bottom line is if you don't stay in the present and just get at least one successful thing done, you're never going to get to the end of the line. Yeah. And that's one of the things that's been hard for me, is always to not get disappointed when we don't get to right where we need to be. As long as you, and I'm a list guy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm take my day planner out downstairs, or we go to the meeting, and I write things down every day. And if I'm a quarter or halfway through a day, and I don't think I've gotten one productive thing done that I wanted to get done, I make sure I get at least one of those things done, at least one,
Mm-hmm.
so I can go to bed at night, feeling a little bit more grateful. Although you should always be grateful, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be. You're alive. Right. Anything else? Are there any other things that you think about to stay in the present?
That was number 2. Be grateful.
Oh, yeah, be grateful. Yeah. You can't worry about past, man. You just got to keep moving forward. Yep. All right. So summary: in golf and in life, time travel does not help. Stay in the present, embrace the moment, and try to feel the joy of being alive. Like that, we don't talk about joy a lot. I used to work with a woman named Joy. She was nice. We don't talk about joy a lot. But that's also really important. Like, if you can stay in the present, like you can just sit here right now and say, hey, dear brother, we're alive. You know what? And we're handsome men, and we're doing what we want to do. And like, lots of
That's
people
what I like to think.
Well, I stay in the present, Rich. Present. Yeah, if you look at it this way, we're two guys that, lots of people out there right now are working outside.
Yeah.
There's lots of people sitting at a desk, and I know we had our one former player works for the government. People actually that work for the government fall asleep at their desks. He said it's pretty common. Like, can you imagine how unrewarding that is to go to work and just to fall asleep at your desk? We're doing what we want to do, and hopefully we're making an impact on the people out there. So yes, stay in the present, joy, experience joy, and as always, if you get anything out of this podcast, what happens?
When you're rich and famous, we get 10%.
Although your lesson last night did not agree.
My lesson, I'm working on her. She does not want to give 10%. She thinks it's a scam. I've worked with her for 3 years now. I think this is our 3rd year working together. And she has consistently gotten better, but for some reason still thinks it's a scam and thinks 10% is too much. And because I asked for 10, she's like, nope, I'm not giving you any.
Well, as they say in Seinfeld, no lessons for you. And also, if you,
I think she should be grateful that it's only 10.
right,
And smile about it.
right, and have the joy of working with Richie Stoltz. Yes, I know. Like all of those things, all rolled up in one. It's like a burrito. Okay. As always, if you want breakfast ball swag, go on the website. And if you comment in the comments section, I love the breakfast ball. And by the way, Toby finally got his gift card last week. I'm sure Jeremy is shortly
Jeremy
there
got
behind.
his.
Yes. Okay.
Jeremy
I got a gift card in a bag. Remind me to give it to you. You can give it to Jeremy. So, if you're the next one to put in, I love the breakfast ball. You will be in the drawing for a Starbucks gift card. Anyway, folks, as always, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We're now pushing 600 subscribers, which is nice. The goal is to be over 1,000 by the end of the year. So keep watching, and we'll keep trying to be entertaining. Okay, have a great day, and stay in the present. Right.
Stay in the present.
All right, that was 19 minutes. Actually, 21 minutes.
All right, we should head over there because
Can we do shorts to take to 4 minutes?
Glass of bourbon, ha. My bourbon, ha. My bourbon, ha. Alcohol. Because no great story ever started with, I'll have a salad.